Hey guys, I'm the first guy and this is a review of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta. So I've played the beta yesterday, I've reached max rank, rank 10, it's not that big of a deal, but and I've collected some pretty good parts. And I think I have an overall understanding of what the game is about, so yeah, let's talk about Battlefront. So I'm gonna talk about hardware stuff, I mean technical stuff. Then I'm gonna talk about gameplay, and then we're gonna take a look at bonus things like controversies or bad things that happen to the game and launch things. Those won't really go into the score, but it's good to know when you get into the game. So, technicalities. Battlefront looks amazing, so I have a 970, GTX 970, and I can run it at touch settings. Pro tip, don't use TAA, TAA sucks, use FXAA if you want your game to be good. And I managed to make the FOV 90%, 90, because I wrote the code, I wrote something in the code and it made it better. Much better. So you need to play this at 90 FOV and 55 FOV. The game sucks. I mean, it really sucks. It's about who gets luckier, who sees who first. But when you can't even see, it's like tunnel vision. Then it's just completely random. So the FOV slider, I think we'll get into the game sooner or later, at least when the full game launches. So that's not a big deal. The game looks really cool. Up close, everything seems amazing. I think texture work is really incredible. Naboo looks amazing. I mean, wow, they really did a good job. And maybe the one thing that I don't like is the distance in which props pop in. So if you don't know, it's when something pops in your screen is when it spawns. So if you get too far away from it, it despawns and it is not there. So it won't waste video memory, but I think they went a bit overboard here, and they just they just made this distance really small and everything. You can notice this a lot of the time on Naboo and especially on the Force Awakens. Then we talk about it later. So the game looks incredible, the game sounds incredible, the texture work is amazing, the effects are incredible, light is just, the light and the shadows are really cool. The one thing is the distance, and that's a big thing. So when you go on the Cantina map from the Force Awakens, the trees despawn, and there's a certain point on the map where if you stand on there are no trees. And that's just really immersion breaking, I think. The game looks amazing, but if you get too far away from things, it just becomes a mess. The first Battlefront game's Endor looks better than these games. Woods map, and that map was like 5 times bigger than this map. So I'm gonna give technically an 8 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if this popping thing didn't exist, but this is just unacceptable. I think every game is better than this game, sadly. Even Battlefield 1, which runs on the same engine, doesn't have this popping thing. Yeah, so technically it's an 8 out of 10. Gameplay. Well, the gameplay in its core, it's really good. It's really fun, addicting, and it's deep. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's much deeper than Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Call of Duty. So mainly you have 4 classes: the Assault, the Heavy, the Officer, and the Specialist. The Specialist is the sniper with DMRs. The Assault is the close range guy with mid-range rifles. The Heavy is the light machine gun guy, and the Officer is an interesting class. It has just a pistol, but it can deploy turrets or really powerful support things. And the game functions really well. It reminds me of Team Fortress on some places. For example, when you get to the palace on Naboo, the heavies need to push forward with their shields, and then everybody else comes behind, the assaults come behind with their shotguns, and the officers just spamming the healing, not healing, the bonus health, and the snipers with the radar jammers so they don't get seen, they flank the enemy, it's really cool. But when the gameplay doesn't funnel you into one small area, the teamwork is not really a thing in this game, it's nearly non-existent. And that's sad, because again, those are the coolest moments when 8 or 9 people work together and they just obliterate the enemy team. The game changed from a pickup. The pickups are not pickups anymore. They are earnable with star points, and this is the best thing ever. So I think this is the best way to get tanks and skill streaks into the mix, because there are skill streaks like the MTT on Naboo or the gunship that just fly around. You can't really control them, but they shoot well. But I have one complaint with them: they're extremely weak compared to their price. So most of the specialist has a really strong long-range rifle, and the assault has a really strong rifle. I haven't tried out the new heavy rifles and the new officer rifles, but those are just so strong they melt anything. And there's a jetpack trooper which gets a pistol. I mean, seriously guys, you're gonna give me a pistol for 2000? And the jetpack, I mean, I can... What do I do with that pistol? Nothing. I die. Because I only have a 100 health bonus. And there's always another one. They're really niche picks, but the heroes are really cool. The heroes are extremely well done in this game. Maybe some are a bit better than others. For example, Han Solo's E is just melts a whole group of people. You can spam 2-shot kills all day long. Yeah, there are some imbalances like the assault. I talked about those rifles before, and that's why it's not that balanced. The second gun is nearly always better than the first gun, and the heroes are really good, and special classes are just underpowered. But the fighters are really cool. Yeah. They implemented a realistic twist to the shooting, so it's now not a lock-on thing. It's now you need to shoot at the circle, which is so the circle of an enemy. So you hit it like in most simulation World War II type and flight simulator-like games. Those like Birds of Steel or Beauty Storm movie. And I think it's really cool. I really like this system, mainly because I have a lot of experience with it and I smelt people. And it's really cool. And that's a really big plus, because the lock-on system was just terrible. You didn't need any skill for the fighters. But then again, the fighters are so weak against the infantry, you need about 5 lasers for the infantry, and that's just unacceptable in my opinion. So overall, the gameplay would be perfect if there weren't some imbalances. And they're not that big of a deal, because you could get them really easily, but now we get to the extra part, which I will include in the gameplay in the gameplay score, because it's just really big. So the star card system is really it's just, I don't like it. I mean, I didn't have any problems with it, because you can earn credits and scrap constantly, and it's not hard at all. I've only played 3 hours and I already have legendary items, really cool items, but it's just really stupid that these things are not cosmetic. These things don't make you make you play differently. These are just upgrades to your soldier, and that's not good. And I think this may ruin the game if they don't do it right. That's really scary. So let's summarize it all right now. And I don't want to. I really fail. This makes you much better. This makes you much better. This makes you much better. Just look at this. These are good type of star cards, I think, because they want you to play differently. Those are stricter class, but these three are just dirty. So every class has these. Resourcefulness. Your abilities have faster recharge time. Straight up upgrade. Brawler. When you defeat an enemy in melee combat, abilities refresh and you gain a small amount of health. Upgrade. Yes, it's an upgrade. You gain a small amount of score for each hit that you take. Is this an upgrade? Yes, this is definitely an upgrade. Because now you can get heroes much quicker. So, these are really OP. The heroes don't even have those fun abilities. They only have upgrades. For example, Boba Fett only has things that makes him take less damage and deal more damage. I won't read them because it just makes me mad. Starfighters, they... Oh, this one doesn't have... Oh, they don't have. Only at launch. So expect these things to get every freaking where you go. Bombers. Now, again, no downside. They all have an amazing thing. More health. How can you say no? More torpedo damage. How can you say no? So, if you get the idea, a good type of star card would be something that gives you a positive and a negative. But these only give you positives, so that makes them pay to win. It's pay to win, there's no way I can describe it better, and that really makes me sad because I really like this game and I don't want it to fail, but these are just pay to win shit. So I hope they don't fuck this up. I hope they bring in some negative sides to these things, because this is unacceptable right now. But I don't know. They did it so well with Titanfall 2, why can they do it just that? And here are your cases. So these cases, they have a much better chance of giving you better loot than in Black Ops 2, for example, Call of Duty games, but still, fuck these cases. Fuck them. Just don't. Overall, I think you should check this one out. You should check out the beta. You should, but you should get the FOV to 90 at least. Because from one part half the community doesn't even know how to do that, and you will become a god. And from another part you won't get motion sick, the game will feel faster and more fluid, and it's just a much better experience. So the gameplay point, I need to give it a 7 out of 10 because of the imbalances, and the star card system just gets 2 points down. And yeah, overall this game is a 7.5 out of 10, I think, at this state. I can't really talk about content days, and there will be about 12 heroes and 16-18 maps. I think that's enough. Because Battlefield has 10 maps at start, Call of Duty has 15 maps at start, and those are much more smaller. So I think there won't be a problem with this, and the business model is really cool. So I think I will give a 0.5 points for the business model, because there's no season pass, and you will get everything for free except for the star cards. And if they don't massively, it will be tolerable. So overall, this game is an 8 out of 10, I think. It has rough things like the field of view and the beta, and the distance in which props pop in, but overall this game is really good. You should try it out. I really enjoyed it, and even though this game only has, in the beta, we only have 3 maps, 2 infantry maps, and only 3 maps overall, from which only 2 are infantry maps, and one is so small, it's like a half map. But The Starfighter Assault is really cool in this game, you should check it out, and Walker Assault-like game mode, which was made much more active for the players, so you don't just activate ancoms, you shoot the thing idly. And I think this is really cool, really cool. So an 8 out of 10, you should check it out. I think you should buy this game when it comes out, and if EA doesn't decide to fuck up the star card system, because I don't think that's on DICE, then this will be a really good game. So yeah, thank you for watching, and